Geek Myths, a novel about life, love, and the pursuit of sonic screwdrivers. Available in paperback and Kindle edition from Amazon.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Yes, I know this is late. I'm always playing catch up. Bear with me. Please don't stop bearing with me. The 8th of March was International Women's Day, and Big Finish decided to release, a release called the 8th of March. And to celebrate or cash in, depending on your reading of how things worked out, or indeed just use it as a hook to sell some stuff, Big Finish brought us a release called the 8th of March. 4 individual stories not linked by anything other than the fact that they all take place on the 8th of March, at some point in the universe. Now, 4 stories, all with great female leads. Actors who've given us great stuff in the past. Part of me thought it was all going to be a bit mix and match. That's not quite true. But it is giving us a lot of stuff we've not come across before. And more importantly, this box set contains... No, I'll get to that in a minute. Because, of course, this is another carcast, I can't be reading you the synopsises. Story number 1's got Leela and River Song in it. What's not to love? Leela is not really involved in the Time War as such. You've got some terrible collateral stories in her John Hurt Time War storylines. And her workings with the Master, well, that's all also not gone well. She is a casualty of the Time War. So she won't be appearing in the Gallifrey stories, which isn't lovely, but it needs to happen. You just can't win them all. So at this point with the storyline, we've still got Leela based in Gallifrey, and we've still got her working on behalf of Romana. The first storyline is called Emancipation, and it takes place, do we want to use the words timey-wimey? There's a bit of time travel in the story, which is great. Leela's got a fixed coordinate TARDIS, gets you from there to there. And you've got River Song pretending to be, Romana at a conference. And then you've got Princess, and you've got rescues going on, and it all goes a bit next gen. I'll put my hands up and say that. People trying to obey the traditions and laws of the land in order to try and bring about prosperity. Makes sense. And as I said, it all feels just a smidge next generation. But like most storylines, you introduce enough Doctor Who-ness and it becomes its own creature. You've got reasons behind why the princesses don't want to be rescued. You've got mind-reading drones. But the crossover between old Who in the form of Leela and new Who in the form of, River Song, just brilliant. It all fits together beautifully. Now, I know we are dealing with 2 giants of the acting profession, seriously. Louise Jameson is just superb. She always will be. And the woman who does River Song's not bad either. No, seriously. It's a cracking story to introduce a great box set. That's story number 1, and if I do talk about it anymore, you end up with, what I can only describe as a head full of spoilers. And spoilers, sweetie, not my cup of tea. Which brings us to story number 2. Which is story number 2, and that is the Big Blue Book. This story's got Benny and Ace. The Doctor's off somewhere, and he's parked at a museum. A museum inside a university. And of course they've had to well, blend into society. Of course, Bernice has got herself a job as an archaeology lecturer, and Ace is possibly a cleaner or an investigator. Trouble will find these two people. This is so like a missing adaptation, a missing worlds, a new adventure, as to be just brilliant. There's just not enough Benny and Ace and the Seventh Doctor stories out there. There's not. It's a no-brainer. I know we're not going to have the book adaptations anymore, and that's fine. But this one's pretty damn good. If ever you've hung around a university, it feels very authentic. People are just banging on the way they always do. And of course, you've got the weird libraries. Even going off the title, you can figure out that the TARDIS ends up being, well, damaged somewhat. And like I say in one of my own short stories, librarians make the world's worst villains. Spoilers, sweetie. Not linked at all, apart from the fact that it takes place on the 8th of March, and it's got two great female characters. Which brings us to story number 3 in this rather good box set. Now, story number 3...
And complaints. It may look like haphazard piles of paper, but I don't have time to explain my filing system to you. Look, just leave this office out in future. No, I don't need you to send someone.
I will destroy you. If you wish to take me on in battle. On in battle, sir, I will easily oblige.
Story number 3 is the important one. It's the biggie. It's inside every warrior, and it is, well, the Paternoster Gang. I know we've all been hanging around waiting for the Paternoster Gang to turn up on audio. We really have. We've been banging on and waiting forever. It's what we've all wanted. We've all wanted Strax and Jenny and Vastrol turning up, being investigating. But we had Jago and Lightfoot, so we had enough Victoriana to keep going. Well, there's not going to be much more Jago and Lightfoot for obvious reasons. But what we have got is a lovely bit of Victoriana here. This, well, let's put it this way. If this was an American TV series, this would be the backdoor pilot. This would be the thing you buy because you're going to buy the box set anyway, and you go, oh yeah, that would make a great series. Well, of course it would make a great series. This particular story, well, I'll be honest, it did lose me during some of the battle sequences. You can only have so many sword fights on audio, which is one of the reasons that Doctor Who, a weapon light version of the Doctor, works so well on audio. Yeah, you can have battles going on, but there needs to be a storyline. Otherwise, you get a whole plethora of people saying things like, "You got me in the heart, sir," or my cheek, oh no, you've cut me, how dare you," that kind of thing. I'm sorry, I know a lot of you get offended when I do the voices, but you know what, I just don't care. Sorry about that one. So, that's story number 3. You've got werewolves, you've got monsters, you've got London. And this is the pilot for the series that was announced last week. It will be happening. We will have more Dan Starkey. It'll be great. That was a terrible Dan Starkey impression. I apologise profusely. Crashing on with story number 4. Story number 4 is Narcissus. And it's an interesting one, this one. You see, it does the thing that I didn't think they'd be doing on audio. 2 Osgoods. One of them is definitely human. And the other one, well, she's a zygote. And that's the way things are supposed to be. It was a 50-50 chance that we'd end up with a zygon and a human. Or is this story set before the other events where you possibly ended up with a human, no, a zygon and another zygon both being Osgood? It's a storyline I was never truly happy with, but we can live with that. We really, genuinely can. The Osgoods are very good. Having 2 of them is brilliant, and that keeps me going. Oh, can I just say it's just been announced, and the actress who plays Osgood is going to Hooverville this year. As always, the world's best, littlest Doctor Who convention. It's tremendous. Seriously, absolutely spot on. There's an internet dating site that's just after beautiful people, and alien spacecrafts that run on, well, again, spoilers. That's the problem with reviewing brand new stuff. You just can't get away with it. Is it a good box set? Of course it is. Is it the sort of thing that you should own? Yes. You don't necessarily have to own this. It's not the be-all and end-all of your collection, but what it is it's important because this A contains the pilot episode for the Paternoster Gang, and it's got multiple Osgoods. Each of the stories is strong in its own right, in very different ways, so if you don't enjoy one, there'll be more impressive ones along later. I loved this box set, and I really, really wouldn't mind there being an 8th of March Volume 2 next year, because let's face it, fascinating female characters, Doctor Who's been doing it for a very long time. And with that, I'll fade away and let you enjoy the trailer. So until next time, be seeing you.
Together on 3. 1, 2, 3!
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, the 8th of March.
This evening, the date has been calculated as the 8th of March, 2019.
We have been called upon by Dr. Cornelius Pinch.
This fine lady is a detective of vast reputation.
Good evening. May I take your name, please?
Romana Dvorat-Rilunda. I'm the Gallifreyan delegate.
Osgoods.
Sorry, but just you try living with someone who's exactly the same as you in every way and see how you get on.
Werewolves, my dear.
Werewolves?
By all accounts.
Just an average Thursday, then.
Archaeologist, orphan, born 21st June 2540. Strong mind, very noisy.
Who are you and what is this?
The ship's currently in a low orbit just above central London. Just getting a fix on the exact coordinates.
My book? That's not...
Take your book.
Who are you? And why are you pretending to be a Time Lord?
Who wants to know?
The real Romana.
Get off me, you flying pair of tongs! Ow!
Here goes nothing. 1, 2, 3.
Big Finish. We love stories.
I'm just off doing a bit of, well, what you do. Except without a spaceship. Or an umbrella. Or you. Or anybody.
That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.